Yes, let us take up the C reading from the first unit now. I will do it. This is a biography of N.R. Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, one of the largest IT companies in the world. This biography is written by none other than Mr. Narayana Murthy's wife herself. But what happened during his childhood, one particular incident is given there in this biography, in this extract taken from the biography of N. Narayana Murthy, Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy, the full name of N.R. Narayana Murthy. He was short, he was sharp, he was the brightest boy in his class. His seniors used to ask him to solve their difficulties in science. He could have gone unnoticed in a crowd, but once you asked him a question related to physics or maths, there was a spark in his eyes. He could grasp theories of science faster than the speed of light. See how this biography is started. The name is not mentioned there, it is given there. He was short, he was sharp. Sharp means very intelligent. A short boy, but very intelligent. He was the brightest boy in his class. Brightest boy means the most intelligent, the cleverest. His seniors used to ask him to solve their difficulties in science. See, even if he was in a lower class, his seniors means the students belonging to higher classes than himself, than his class, they used to ask him doubts in science, to solve their difficulties in science. Suppose there was a crowd going, he could have gone unnoticed in a crowd. Nobody could recognize that he was such an intelligent boy. But once you asked him a question related to physics or maths, there was a spark in his eyes. But if in the crowd, if somebody raises a question relating to physics or maths, you can see that particular boy's face lighting up with spark. There was a spark in his eyes, you could see, and he could grasp theories of science faster than the speed of light. Can you imagine the intelligence of that boy? He could grasp, means understand theories of science faster than the speed of light. Maybe appear to be an exaggeration, but it's a fact. He came from a poor but educated family. His father was a high school teacher and an avid reader of English literature. Now let us go to the background of this boy. His family was a poor family, but all in his family were educated. His father was a high school teacher and a very avid reader of English literature. An avid reader means keen. Very keen reader of English literature. Very enthusiastic reader of English literature. He, like all the boys in his class, was trying to get admission into some engineering college. Obviously, like every boy in his class, this boy as well was also trying to get admission into some engineering college. The brighter ones wanted to study in the Indian Institute of Technology or the IITs. Brighter ones means what? Among those students who were brighter, they wanted to study in the Indian Institutes of Technology, famously known as IITs. These three letters are the buzzword now, even now also, as it was then. So, getting a seat and getting a chance to study in any Indian Institute of Technology or IIT is a dream for any student. And the brighter ones, means brighter students of the class, wanted to study in the Indian Institute of Technologies, IITs. There was an entrance test for IIT. Just like now, it is now called JEE, IIT JEE, Indian Institute of Technology Joint Entrance Examination. There was an entrance test for IIT. This boy, along with his friends, applied to appear for the test. Normally, like other boys, he also applied to appear for the test, IIT. they did not have any special books or coaching. Now, today's children are very lucky because you are very lucky because you have got lot number of books, lot number of reference books, special coaching. But in those days, they did not have, means the students did not have any special books or coaching. All these IIT aspirants would sit below the shade of a stone mandap close to Chamundi Hills in the sleepy town of Mysore. So all these IIT aspirants means hopefuls. All these IIT aspirants means all these IIT hopefuls. Aspirant is the word which comes from the word aspire. Aspire means to hope, to achieve something. Aspirant means a person who wants to achieve something is aspirant. And these children are IIT aspirants, means they all aspire to become IIT students. So what would they do? They would sit below the shade of a stone mandap. You might have seen mandaps for performing the celestial weddings of the presiding deity of that particular temple. In every temple you can see that there is a mandap made of stone. Close to Chamundi Hills, in the sleepy town of Mysore, very silent town of Mysore, Chamundi Hills, on which a famous temple in southern India, Chamundeshwari temple, is located. He was the guide for the others. This boy, while the others struggled to solve the problems in the question paper, he would smile shyly and solve them in no time. And this boy was the guide for the others. The other boys or other students used to struggle to solve the problems in the question paper. This boy used to solve those problems in no time at all. He sat alone below a tree and dreamt of studying at IIT. He always used to sit alone because he was an introvert by nature. He sat alone below a tree and he always dreamt of studying at IIT. It was the ultimate aim for any bright boy at that age, as it still is today. What is the meaning of ultimate aim? Final. Ultimate means final. The one and only. The final goal of every bright student at that age was to study at an IIT. Even today also, as it still is today. Just like for any bright boy, the dream of studying at an IIT is a passion. And in the same way, this boy also dreamt of studying at the IIT. He was then only 16 years old. Remember children, he was 16 years old at the time. The D-Day came. What's the meaning of D-Day? You can see that there, a date on which something important is expected to happen. That is the name actually given to June 6, 1944, the day on which the US, British and other armies landed on the beaches of northern France in the Second World War. So to end the Second World War and to teach Germany a lesson, the troops or armies of the United States of America, Britain, landed on the in northern France during the Second World War. That is referred to as D-Day. Which particular day is referred to as D-Day in the history of the world? June 6, 1944. This is referred to as D-Day. The day on which the armies of the United States, Britain landed on the beaches of northern France to end the Second World War. The D-Day came. Here the D-Day in the sense, the most important day, the day they were waiting for. Something that something important is going to take place, and that importance is there was the day of the entrance test for the IIT. He came to Bangalore, now Bengaluru it is known as. This boy came to Bangalore, stayed with some relatives and appeared for the entrance test. He wrote the entrance test. He did very well, but would only say okay when asked. When he came out of the examination hall, when somebody asked him, how did you write the exam? He just would say okay. It was the opposite when it came to food. When it was related to the study, okay means not bad, I have written well. But when it comes to the food, it was the opposite. Means what? When he said okay, relating to food, it implied bad. Okay. When he said good, it implied okay. When he said excellent, it implied good. See, when he is asked his opinion about a particular food item or any food that is cooked by somebody, when he said okay, that means the food was bad. When he said good, it implied okay. And when he said excellent, it implied good. His principle was never to hurt anyone. Why it was like this? We may be asking what is the connection between his performance in the IIT test and his ideas, expressing his ideas using different words regarding food. Because his principle, his ideal was, his intention was never to hurt anyone. Actually, when he said okay, it is bad, but he would not say bad. He said he would say just okay. The IIT entrance results came. He had passed with a high rank. What a delight for any student. He was thrilled. He was excited. He went to his father who was reading a newspaper. And he went to his father to convey the news. And at that time, his father was reading a newspaper. Anna, I have passed the exam. Well done, my boy. His father appreciated. I want to join IIT. This boy said. His father stopped reading the paper. He lifted his head like this, looked at the boy and said with a heavy voice, with a sad voice, my son, you are a bright boy, no doubt about that. You know our financial position. My dear boy, my dear son, you are a bright boy, but at the same time, you know our financial position, the financial status of our family. I have 5 daughters to be married off. See, your 5 sisters are waiting to get married off. And 3 sons to educate. Along with you, 3 more. 3 of your brothers are waiting to get educated. I have to educate them also. I have to enable them to get a good education just like you get. I am a salaried person. Our entire family depends on my salary. I am just a salaried person. I cannot afford your expenses at IIT. Afford means what? Be able to spend. I cannot be in a position to afford your expenses or be able to spend money on your IIT studies. You can stay in Mysore and study as much as you want. See, my dear son, that is my financial status. And if you want to continue your studies, you stay in Mysore itself and study as much as you want. Indeed, it was a difficult situation for any father to say no to his bright son. Of course, it was really a difficult situation, a very traumatic situation for any father to say no to his bright son. But circumstances were like that. The conditions were like that. What could he do? He could not help. It was common then for the man to be the single earning member with a large family dependent on him. In those days, it was common for the man to be the single earning member with a large family dependent on him. In the olden days, people used to get married earlier. They used to get a lot number of children. And so, entire family had to depend only on one person's salary. So it was difficult for him. That's what he conveyed to his son. His father was sad that he had to tell the bitter truth to his son. Of course, his father felt very sad that he had to tell the bitter truth. But it is the truth, whether it's bitter or sweet. But it could not be helped. Means it could not be helped in the sense he could not help in any way. Means he had to convey that. Whether his son felt bad, whether he himself felt bad or sad about what he had to say, it could not be helped. The boy had to understand reality. And that boy had to understand the reality, and of course he had to. The teenager was disappointed. Who is called a teenager? Any person between 13 and 19 years of age is called a teenager. Because 13 to 19, the English spellings end with the word teen, the letters teen. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's why it is called teenage. The teenager, this boy, at that time he was 16 years old, he was disappointed. It seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. He felt so disappointed, as if all his dreams had burned to ashes. Now he could not realize his ultimate dream of studying at IIT. He was near to fulfilling his fondest hope, yet so far. Nearest in the sense, he got a good rank. He could easily get a seat in any of the IITs. He was near to fulfilling his fondest hope. What is that fondest hope? To study at an IIT. Yet far, so far. It was near, yet so far. Why it was so far? Because his father expressed his helplessness to send him to study at IIT due to the financial status of his family. His heart sank in sorrow. You might have imagined the mental status of that boy at that time when his father expressed his helplessness to send him to study at an IIT. His heart sank in sorrow. He felt so deeply depressed. He did not reply. He did not say anything to his father. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. Never before he shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody because he was an introvert by nature. As we said in the previous paragraphs, introvert is a person who doesn't like to mingle freely with the others. He was an introvert by nature. He always wants to stay by himself, be himself, never want to talk to anybody without any reason. Simply, he always used to be alone. That's why he was called an introvert by nature. His heart was bleeding, but he did not get angry with anybody. His heart was bleeding means what? He did not get an injury in his heart. He felt he was feeling so painful there that he could not realize his dream, but at the same time he did not get angry with anybody, including his father, for not sending him to the IIT. The day came, his classmates were leaving for Madras. Now it is Chennai. The day came. What is the day? His classmates were leaving for Madras to join the IIT. Along with this boy, some other students got qualified in the IIT entrance examination. They were all leaving for Madras. They were taking a train from Mysore to Madras. At that time, they were taking a train to reach Madras from Mysore. They have shared good years in school and college together. Of course, they have shared good years in school and college. So he went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future life. Can anybody imagine this? This boy got a very high rank compared to other students there in his class, but he went to the station not to go to join IIT there. He went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to his friends for their future life. At this station, his friends were already there. They were excited and talking loudly. All his friends were excited, thrilled, and talking loudly. The noise was like the chirping of birds. As if there are a lot of birds chirping there. These boys were discussing so many things there. They were all excited and discussing their new hostels, new courses. Obviously, now you have completed your 10th class. When you are going to join in some other college, in some other city or town, you feel excited because it's a new place, new course, how the life is going to be. You will be feeling excited or thrilled. He was not part of it. Who? This boy was not part of it. Why? Because he was not joining them to go to the Madras. So he stood there silently. One of them noticed and said, "You should have made it." One of his friends noticed this boy just standing a little away from them, and he said like, "You should have made it, my dear friend. You should also have joined. You should have made it. You should have convinced your father, and you should have made it." He expressed his concern like that. He did not reply. He only wished all of them, but did not say anything in reply. He did not scold his father. He only wished all of them success. They waved at him as the train slowly left the platform. So, as slowly the train left the platform, they continued to wave to him, and he also continued to wave to them. He stood there even after he could no longer see the train or the waving hands. And even after the train had left, even after he could no longer see the train or the waving hands, he stood there in that same place. It was the June of 1962 in Mysore city. Monsoon had set in and it was getting dark. It had started to drizzle. Drizzle means light rain, a light shower. It started to drizzle, yet he stood there motionless. Motionless means without any movement. He stood there like that without any movement. He said to himself, without anger or jealousy, he did not feel any anger against anybody. He did not feel jealousy also against his friends who were going to join IIT at Madras. So what did he think? He said to himself, what did he say to himself at that time? Look at that. All students from the IITs study well and do big things in life. But it is not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. Probably he was not aware that he was following the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. So what did he say to himself after the train had left, when it had started drizzling? Without any anger or jealousy, he told himself like this. Yes, it is true that all students from the IIT study well and they do big things in life. But remember, it is not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. He told himself like this. Okay, I may not be joining IIT, but it is not just the institution in which you study. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. Institution only can guide you, can show you the way, but ultimately it is you who has to work hard and reach the goal. That's what he told himself. And of course, when he was saying this to himself, he was probably not aware that he was following the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, it was a sermon given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna during the Kurukshetra battle. What is the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita? Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is also yourself. There is no better friend or no better enemy than yourself to you. This is the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. What does it mean? Later, he worked very hard and focused on one thing. never bothering about his personal life or comforts. Later on, he worked very hard and focused on only one thing: to succeed. Never bothering about his personal life or comforts. He did never bother about his life or comforts. So he started working hard, he started earning, and he shared his wealth with others. He did not keep all the wealth that he had earned to himself. He started sharing his wealth with the others. He never used the help of any caste, community, or political connections to go up in life. Generally, nowadays, everybody wants to take the help of the caste or community or political connections to develop or to progress in life. But Narayana Murthy never used the help of any caste, community, or political connections to go up in life. A son of a school teacher showed other Indians it was possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. Just a son of a school teacher, a normal school teacher, an ordinary school teacher, the son of an ordinary school teacher showed other Indians that, my dear Indians, it is possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. Without breaking the ethics, without deviating from morals, we can earn wealth. That's what the message that he conveyed to the Indians through his life. How many people nowadays earn legally and ethically? Not even one person you can show there on the earth. But Narayana Murthy showed to the Indians that it was possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. He built a team of people who were equally good. At the same time, he did not do it alone. He built a team of people who were equally good like him. He became a pioneer of India's software industry and started the information technology wave. Pioneer means the person who begins or who originates a particular idea is called a pioneer. A pioneer is a person who is the first to study and develop a particular area of knowledge or culture, etc., that other people then continue to develop. So, he became a pioneer of India's software industry, the first man to have this idea of starting an IT company and start information technology wave, IT wave in the country. Today, he has become an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality and fairness, apart from being a philanthropist. Today, he has become an icon. Icon means symbol. An icon of simplicity. These icons you can see on a computer screen or a mobile screen. Icons. But here icon is a symbol. Symbol of what? Simplicity. Symbol of uncompromising quality. Not compromising when it comes to quality, and fairness. Means honesty. Apart from being a philanthropist. A philanthropist is a person who devotes his service or wealth for the love of mankind. When a person devotes or spends his service or wealth for the love of the mankind is known as a philanthropist. Apart from being a philanthropist, this man has become an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality and fairness. He really believes in the motto, powered by intellect and driven by values. What is the meaning of motto? An ideal, a principle. He really believes in this particular motto. Be powered by intellect and driven by values. You must possess intelligence or intellect. At the same time, you should not give up your values to earn something illegally or unethically. He is none other than Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. So, for the first time we come to know of this man, this boy, that who is that? None other than Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. With this, we come to the end of this C reading. We will be taking up the discussion of the exercises in the next class, children. Thank you.